Hello and welcome to this demonstration of SHL's Competency Fit solution. My name is John and I'm part of the solution team here at SHL, and I'll be spending the next few minutes demonstrating how our solution brings science to mapping your organisation's talent population. We'll go through each aspect of the solution. Firstly, having a look at the assessments that your employers will take. We'll then look at the automated development reports that are generated after those assessments are taken. And finally, we'll look at the dashboard of insights that maps your entire organisation against your competency framework. So to start the process, your participants take the Occupational Personality Questionnaire, also known as the OPQ, with optional other assessments including a motivational questionnaire, a cognitive assessment and a 360 survey. Now, the competency insights I'll be showing you today only need OPQ data. So in the interests of time, that's the only assessment I'll be demonstrating today. So let's dive in and have a look at the OPQ. Now, the OPQ takes approximately 20 minutes to complete. And the data that it generates can be used to support many talent decisions across talent acquisition and talent management. So it can be used to help with anything from finding the best incoming candidates to mapping your workforce's capabilities against your strategy and finding individual and group and organisational skills gaps, and with many other use cases in between. So if you, like thousands of other businesses, use the OPQ to support your hiring decisions, the data that you've gathered goes into a big pot, and then you can use that to bring scientific validity to all your subsequent talent management decisions. Now, did you know that the OPQ was taken by over 1.5 million people across the world last year, and its scientific validity is second to none? And it is seen as the best predictor of workforce potential in the world. So once your employees have taken the OPQ, they receive a personalised report, or suite of reports to help put development in their hands. Now, there are a range of reports available depending on which assessments the participants have completed, but as we've only taken the OPQ today, I'll show you just 2 of them, starting with this one, which is the OPQ profile, which is an overview of the employee's personality, broken down by the 8 overarching areas of competency. Now, alongside the OPQ report, which breaks down the employee's personality, they also get this, which is the development action planner. Now, this helps the participants to understand more about their strengths and development areas, giving them targeted development advice. Now, these reports are designed to personalise and focus development, while at the same time putting development in their hands. So now we've seen the participants' experience, let's look at the dashboard of competency insights that the HR team and the C-level have access to. So you might be thinking, well, what happens next? How do we get from having some talent data to mapping and understanding the organisation's competencies and skills gaps? Well, the SHL platform looks at your selected employees' assessment data and then applies our world-leading science to it. So the platform then plots everyone onto a dashboard, mapping them against your defined competencies. So what you'll see on the dashboard from now on can either use the defined SHL competencies, the 20 competencies, or it can be tailored to your specific language as required. So what I'm going to do first is select a group of people that I actually want to have a look at the competencies for. So you can do this at a participant or a group level. What I'm going to do today is select, I'm going to break this down by some demographics. So you can select by gender, location, function, title, or as I said, group earlier on. I'm going to select the females for the purposes of this demonstration, and the maximum amount that I have, or we have assessed. So I'm going to add them to this insight, and you can see instantly the platform has done its job and it's mapped the individuals onto this dashboard. These are the group insights, but we'll drill down to the individuals in a moment. Now, the first thing right at the top of the page is I can see all 41 of the individuals that I wanted to include have been included. There are none excluded, so that means that all of them have taken the necessary assessments, in this case the OPQ. If they haven't, you can send a prompt directly from here, uttering them to complete the assessment. Now, the first thing we see is the group headlines, so where the group perform overall. So let's break these insights down. The very first thing that we see here is what we call the Great Eight. These are the overarching competencies, and they're broken down into task focus and into people focus. So this is how the group have performed overall. So analysing and interpreting, as we can see here, an average of 2 out of 5 is probably a development area in terms of task focus. Now we can break that down further by looking at the distribution. We can see considerable development is needed in analysing and interpreting, and probably leading and deciding and supporting and cooperating as well. So let's break these 8 down a bit further into those defined areas. So I said they were broken down into task focus and people focus. So let's look at the people focus in a bit more detail. And these are the 9 competencies that sit under that people focus. So we can see deciding, initiating, leading and supervising, working with people, so on and so forth. And again, we can break this group down and we can look at the distribution of those competencies amongst the group. So we can target that development. So leading and supervising, massive area for development here. And as well as the people competencies, we can break it down by the 11 tasks, and we can again further target that development and see the distribution. So again, creating and innovating in this example is probably the area where we need to develop the most. So you can see as a group, as an organisation or team, function, whatever it may be, where we are not so or not as strong as we should be or would like to be or need to be. So you can easily map what you're trying to achieve as an organisation and understand whether individuals or groups or teams or the entire organisation is set up ready to be able to perform as required. Now you can break all this information down into table form as well. But what I'm going to do is look at some individuals. So I can select, let's say, Anna, and I'm going to look at her results specifically. Again, from a Great 8 overarching perspective, I can see how Anna performs, and I can break down those into those subsequent competencies in more detail so I can understand where she sits in terms of people, tasks, people approach and task approach. Now, the final thing that I'll show today is how we can export this information to Excel, done very quickly. So here are all 41 females broken down in terms of their people task and people focus and task focus, as well as how they perform against each of those 20 competencies broken down. So you can really see the value of being able to amalgamate and consolidate that data to really understand where your skills capabilities lie and where potential lies and where development areas are needed. Thank you for taking the time to watch this demonstration of our competency fit solution. If you'd like any more information or to contact us, please do visit shl.com/mobilise, and I will see you soon.